everybody. Welcome to Sophisticated Ignorance. This is Jordan Miller. We're currently waiting on our last partner, Gerald. Today, we're going to break down the NBA Finals, round 3 of Warriors vs. Cavs. Last night, game 1 did not go very smoothly for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Not at all. They struggled offensively, definitely defensively, but I think going into the finals, everybody knew that they would have to all pitch in on defense, and just it didn't happen.
The Warriors are a very tough team to stop on both ends of the floor, so it was going to be a difficult game for both teams just because you knew coming in it was going to be tightly contested, but the Warriors just wound up running away with it. What was it, towards the third quarter?
You can call it third quarter, but it's like they were going to win the game in the first quarter.
I think they outscored the Cavaliers in every quarter of the game. Defensively, they did a great job on every player on the Cavs, especially LeBron James. Even though he still statistically put up a nice-looking game, there were clear flaws with his performance last night, which we will break down later when Gerald gets here. But I don't think 113-91 was what anyone was really thinking was going to happen in that game.
Yeah,
but
I think seeing how Game 7 of last year was such a closely contested game, I thought everybody would expect this huge battle, and it just didn't happen. But nothing to sweat for the Cavs, though, because a lot of the games last year were all blowouts.
Yeah, I was about to mention, even in the 2015 series, there were a couple games that were really bad. It was a 20-point deficit in the second quarter type stuff going on. So it was only game 1. We still potentially could have 6 more games to play. You never know. But right now, it is not looking good for the Cleveland Cavaliers. What do you even think they can really do to right the ship right now?
Hopefully, I'm not too well. Of course, they need to get better on defense.
Mm-hmm.
But LeBron historically hasn't won game 1s in the finals anyway. The only game 1.
I think he's 3-0 when his team loses game 1 in the finals.
Well, he can't be 3-0 because he's played 8.
Well, in the finals that his teams have lost game 1, he's won every time, I think.
Oh no, he has. Because he's lost 7, so he won 3, lost 4. So, but anyways, the only one that he did win game 1, he lost it to Dirk and the Mavs. So, with that being said, nothing to sweat. He did look very calm out there. He still looked confident in the post game.
He did.
So, I guess it was just a test run, a tune-up.
Yeah. Speaking of confidence, Kevin Durant came out absolutely on fire. I don't think there was much of a doubt that he's probably the best scorer in the league, but last night he really put on a clinic. 38 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, and one big stare down of Rihanna after a three-pointer, if you want to address that.
Oh, yeah, well, it was clear to see that Rihanna was being faithful to her Cleveland Cavaliers.
That is true.
She bowed down to LeBron. KD swapped a 3 and
right in front of her, too. right in front of her. He was not going to show any mercy last night, but 38 points. I mean, the guy could average 25 with his eyes closed. So
easily.
Not much of a doubt that he was going to put on a show last night. But I don't think anyone was ready for 38 points, 8 and 8. So that was pretty wild. What do you think the Cavs can do to stop him?
You can't stop him.
You don't think?
But the good thing is, though, if he's scoring 30 on LeBron James, that means you don't need LeBron James to guard him because he can score 38 on anybody in that.
That is very true.
So if I were the Cavs, I'd put maybe Richard Jefferson on him.
Mm-hmm.
Let him score his 38. Let LeBron save his energy and not have 7 turnovers, and make it even better.
Yeah, I mean, everyone who defended KD last night, I think, got cooked in some way, shape, or form.
Everyone.
Whether he was shooting from the perimeter or driving through the paint. There was a couple plays where they didn't even want to defend him. There was a clip of J.R. Smith literally just running to the perimeter as if he was defending someone. I can't really blame the guy, but
Steph was wide open.
Yeah, you got to pick your poison, which is what the Warriors are, I think, known for the best right now. They can score on you in a variety of ways.
So many weapons.
With just about every player, too. I mean, even these guys coming off the bench, McCaw, Clark, Sean Livingston, all these guys are contributors.
They're just hands down the best team in the league.
I unfortunately think I would have to agree with you there. I mean, the Cavs did improve. They got a lot of depth this year.
They did.
They got a better bench, but I just don't think it's a bench that's capable of dealing with that Warriors bench.
It's different if you add key pieces on the bench, which they both did, but then they also added the superstar, that's the difference maker.
Exactly. I mean, even with the addition of Kyle Korver, which is the kind of player who would gel really well with LeBron, a 3-point shooter, who can just catch and shoot, which is literally perfect for LeBron, the drive and dish.
Sure.
But that pales in comparison to adding Kevin Durant. So it's really not even much of a competition between those two. But hopefully when the lineups get deep and in the next couple games we start to see Richard Jefferson on the court as long as we did last game, hopefully they can show up and make it a competition, because I do not want to see another 22-point game. I don't think anyone does. I think we were all waiting for something a little bit closer and more intense than that. The first quarter looked like it. The first quarter it looked like we were going to have a Cavs-Warriors final again. But,
Sure.
I mean, I just became out of control after that, I think.
Well, I think the only reason why we did see it that contested is because the Warriors were just so nervous and they were rusty.
Oh, the opening couple minutes, I don't think anyone was really making shots.
But once they got hot, and Clay didn't even get hot, so.
He was pretty horrible from the field last night.
3 for 14.
He played defensively. He did play defensively pretty well. I'll give him that, but I think everyone was expecting more out of him, but that's something we can break down later too, Clay's performance.
Definitely.
But also something else we'll get into is how LeBron played. And I mean, like I said, he put up his typical glossy numbers, but that does not shield him from the numbers that were low quality. He had a couple really bad plays, and there's one glaring stat on that stat line right now that I'm sure he's not going to be too happy about. I'm sure the team's looking at. He had 7 turnovers.
At least.
So
I think might have finished with 8. Actually.
I think it was 7 or 8 turnovers in the end. Very not LeBron-like.
LeBron almost had a quadruple double.
Yes, he did.
And it wasn't positive.
Not a quadruple double anyone wants to have.
Exactly.
We'll say it like that. However, another thing that went wrong for the Cavs last night, Tristan Thompson was anemic on the boards. He was getting bullied by Zaza, JaVale, anyone else who went in there really was getting taken. Anyone in the paint with Tristan Thompson seemed like they were having their way with him. And I think we all know that the Cavs need him to show up on the boards. But what do you think happened there?
Well, I think we see what a genius and how much not of a pawn Mike Brown is as a coach, because I don't think Steve Kerr would have game planned to eliminate Tristan Thompson. I think that's just all Mike Brown. Mike Brown's historically been a great defensive coach.
Mm-hmm.
And he, I guess, number one was his focus was, of course, LeBron. Of course, he already knew Clay was going to guard Kyrie because Steph was scared.
Of course.
But then Tristan Thompson, the game plan for Tristan Thompson, and Draymond did an excellent job, as always, boxing out.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very easy for everybody else to get the rebounds, including KD as well. He got 8. The only reason why KD got 8 rebounds because Draymond kept boxing everybody.
Yeah, I mean, he's a big guy, but he's really not known for his rebounding. He's just really a scorer.
Yeah.
But speaking of scoring, J.R. Smith did not do much of that last night. He started the game with a pretty crazy shot from the 3, but after that, I don't think scored another point. So I don't know why that happened. He only got a couple shots, but it seems like when he plays well, the Cavs play well. So you got to wonder why they left him out last night.
I think, as a starter, he just shouldn't be in that starting lineup. If the Cavs want to win a championship this year, they have to start Kyle Korver.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Korver, he'll just start hotter. If JR misses 2 in a row, he might as well.
Mm-hmm.
His game is over for that night.
And Korver's a catch and shoot guy, so rhythm is big for him. And
Exactly.
if you get him in the starting lineup, he doesn't have to come in cold or worry about getting passes from different players. He can get passes from the starters, who he knows will set him up with nice shots.
Exactly.
So you got to wonder, will they do that? I mean, Kyle Korver is defensively not on the same level as JR.
True,
but I don't think
Clay Thompson's 3-4.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
It's
not much of a drop-off anyway, so you don't have to really take that into consideration. Speaking of rebounds and all that, Kevin Love showed up on the boards. In the points, not as much as we would hoped, but I think they got what they wanted in terms of rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
However, what do you think they do to give him more points? Because he missed some open shots, but it seemed like he got his looks.
He did. So with Kevin Love, he's the only way Cavs win. Also, key fact. If Kevin Love doesn't score around 15, 60 points per game, it's just not possible.
And I think he scored 15, and that was even worse because he got at least 15 shots in the field and was not making a lot of them.
Yeah.
He had open threes that he missed late in the game too. He was missing some in the middle of the game, like second and third quarter. So I mean, you gotta wonder, will Kevin Love show up? Because Draymond is his kryptonite.
He is his kryptonite. But as long as Kevin Love's getting rebounds, though, I mean, I guess they did win a championship without him scoring up offensively. As long as he was getting the boards last game 7, he had 14, 15 rebounds.
Something like that. And he had 21 last night or something ridiculous. So
I'm not gonna put the fall on Kevin Love, but he does need to show up because Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, if they keep going like this, I think they were the only 2 players for Warriors with double figures.
Yes, they were. I believe they were the only players.
That's absolutely ridiculous. If you're having 2 players score double figures and everybody else scoring single, and they score 13 points.
Yeah,
that's a problem.
I think Andre Iguodala himself even only scored like 7 points off the bench.
Yeah.
So that was the highest. He was the highest scoring player on the Warriors bench. Andre Iguodala was 7. So when you have Steph and KD combining for 66 points or something in that range, it's going to be a bad night for you, no matter what team you are, clearly, as we saw last night. I think you could have taken those 2 guys off the court early, and they still probably would have won.
Easily. So
the point differential there is pretty absurd. Even Draymond didn't get double-digit points.
Yeah.
So
it looked like they didn't even get tired, honestly. I think that's how deep their team is.
Yeah.
I don't remember Kevin Durant with sweat on his face.
Not one time.
It looked like practice.
And Draymond, who sweats profusely, looked like he was chilling out. I mean, he got it done on both ends of the floor. He usually does, for as much as I personally dislike him, you can't deny that he gets his job done.
He's a great
and
player.
He normally shows up and does what he needs to do, especially when you consider that he's guarding the toughest players normally on any team that they play. He's tasked with, he defends LeBron, Kawhi, James Harden, even those type of players. That's who Draymond Green is covering on a nightly basis. So you got to give him his props.
Of course.
But back to Klay Thompson, because I can't really deal. I don't really know what's going on with him. I don't want to call him a liability yet, but it seems like offensively last night he was.
Honestly, with Klay, I really don't think he likes Kevin Durant on that team, to be honest. Even though he promised to get his shots, he's still getting his shots. I just don't think he's comfortable. He might be the only player that's still not comfortable with Kevin Durant on that team.
Yeah, I mean, he got a lot of shots, but you can tell that he doesn't fit into the flow like he used to.
His energy's not even there on the bench.
Yeah, he's really not the same player, it seems like.
And it seems like if they win this finals match, I would assume he would request that trade. He'll have his 2 rings and he'll try to go to a team where he can call his own. I think he's ready to become a superstar.
Where do you think that might be?
Well, hopefully it's New York.
They could use a shooter or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5.
So if they want to do, Phil Jackson's already trying to get rid of Melo. If they want to do Melo for Klay, have Klay with KP, I'll be all for it.
That would be an interesting lineup for sure. He brings defense to the table, and then if you give him his shots and you let him be the primary 3-point shooter on the team, who knows? Maybe he returns to the Klay who put up 30-something in one quarter and 60 in a game. But throughout this playoff run, he has been averaging far lower points than usual.
Than you would expect out of him.
Far lower. It really just doesn't seem like he's the same player. It's like they got another guy to just fill in his role for him, and he's like a clone.
I think that's what he thinks. His energy, his gratitude is just not there.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's just there for the ride, to be honest. I think he's just here to get his ring right now.
All right, well, speaking of gratitude, not much of that going on when Bryce Harper and Hunter Strickland exchanged blows in the Giants-Nationals game the other day. What do you think about that?
Well,
I don't even know what I think about it.
See, I'm happy that Strickland got a higher suspension, like more games suspended. He got 9 and Bryce got 6 or something like that. Because he initiated it, and I was watching like Manny Machado. Manny Machado had he was considering fighting
with the Red Sox, right?
The Red Sox, but he didn't. And I feel like if you're gonna pitch at players consistently, I give it like 3 strikes. If you're in the same team, same series, hitting a player 3 times, you gotta let him fight. No bats.
Yeah, I mean,
we gotta let him fight.
That's the argument a lot of people make with baseball players policing themselves. You know, when somebody's getting hit with a pitch or when somebody's embarrassing you with a bat flip after they hit a home run, which I don't think Harper really did in the situation. And the home runs that he hit against Strickland were from multiple years ago.
Sure.
So I'm really not. I think I'm just as confused as Bryce Harper when it comes to why was I even getting thrown at in the first place, and to hit the guy right in the hip. Yeah, that's a dangerous area, so I understand why he wants to go out and fight. I'm not a big fan of Bryce Harper, but I can give him his props for defending himself.
Definitely, and I think he had the right to. I think that's why baseball saw it too, and that's why he had the lesser suspension.
Yeah. Ultimately, I don't know if he won the fight.
No.
I think that's harder to look at.
Definitely didn't.
Especially after the first couple. I mean, he got slapped on the first one, but he landed one punch that looked nice. Outside of that, I don't think either of them really did much because the bench is cleared.
I mean, if you're gonna charge, you have to get one key hook in, and if you don't, you just didn't win.
Exactly. I mean, you can't really be because at that point you're kind of looked at as the initiator if you charge the mound. So when you're starting, you gotta finish, and I don't quite think that Harper did that last night or the other night. So, will this happen again? That's the real question. Do you think when the Giants and Nationals play again, which inevitably will wind up happening, do you think that they square up?
No.
No, you don't think it's happening?
It's not happening.
Okay.
It might be a war of words, some more hits by pitches, more like Yankees Red Sox like 09, 08, but no fighting.
Speaking of the Yankees, very hot right now. The judges' chambers are open for business. I'm personally not a huge fan of it, being a Mets fan, but things are not looking good on our side of town either. But what do you think about this Yankees success?
Well, I think once again we show why we're the team in New York. I respect what the Mets did in 2015. I think is what it says on the script that you gave me. But at the end of the day, it's without question.
Here we go.
Oh boy.
Never watched it, not new.
Everybody, this is Gerald. Now we can really talk about the NBA Finals. Here we go. Let's get into it. What we were talking about earlier with Clay. What do we think of Clay?
He a scrub right now. He's a scrub right
He's a scrub right now. I mean, 3 for 16 from the field, 6 points as a total. I know on Twitter the other day you called him a liability. I don't know if I'm ready to go that far yet, but it seems like you are. So
He's gonna get one more ring. They're gonna sweep. First of all, they're gonna sweep the Cavs.
You think it's gonna be a sweep?
What do you think?
You're not gonna give a game to LeBron? I'll give him a game.
now you don't think they're gonna pull it off in Cleveland?
Y'all ran through y'all teeth.
Not one game in Cleveland. Not one game.
One game.
One game.
I'll give him one
I'll
game.
give him one
You want me to tell them to start 5? Y'all know the start 5 for Cleveland, right?
Yes.
So I don't get where y'all get one game from.
They're gonna take JR out and put Kyle Korver. If they want to win, they'll take JR out and put Kyle Korver.
And guard who?
Klay Thompson shot 3-14. What's your argument?
Are you serious?
What's
Do
your
they
argument?
really need to guard him? I mean, the guy's guarding himself.
So
shooting
you'll
3
leave
for
Klay Thompson
16.
open?
Who said you're gonna leave Klay Thompson?
So
open? You don't have to be a top defender to guard a 3-14.
If
shot.
they left
so
Klay
you're
Thompson
telling me-
open last night and he was 3 for 16.
So you're telling me if they put in Iguodala instead of Zaza and JaVale, who guarding who? If they go small,
Where did that even come from?
if they go small, what's gonna happen?
They don't need to. How you gonna swap?
The
with-
Cavs actually
how-
have the ability
How
to
do
go
you go
small.
small with a 7-foot small forward?
Draymond playing center,
And then have KD play power forward? Not gonna get.
and then Andre
They're not
Iguodala.
gonna get as many rebounds.
Andre Iguodala would be the slowest player on the court.
So
Tristan
Tristan Thompson.
who's Kevin Love gonna guard?
Tristan Thompson will most likely.
Who is Kevin Love gonna guard?
They're not doing that lineup, so I'm not gonna entertain it. My question to you was.
They did it in
was-
2015.
This
What happened?
This is a whole other team though.
Yeah,
the Warriors just playing
exactly,
back in the
exactly. They went 6 games with Harrison Barnes. 6 and 7 games with Harrison Barnes.
Harrison
talking
Barnes
about
played well
The
until that
best.
happens.
We're talking about the best scorer ever. Yes,
The best scorer ever.
Best
best scorer ever. Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant, the best
He's a
scorer.
7-foot shooting guard.
He's
He's a 7-foot shooting guard.
a small forward. He's the second best scorer. of
He's
all
a
time.
7-foot shooting guard. I don't care about the small forward nonsense. He's a 7-foot shooting guard.
We have him as the greatest scorer ever.
He can bring the ball up. He can post you up.
Can I ask a question?
We have him greater than.
When has he ever played shooting guard?
Has he ever played shooting guard?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
You just called him a shooting guard.
Doesn't matter.
What's he listed as?
He's listed as a 7-foot goat.
Alrighty. May you remind the audience what GOAT means so they can.
Greatest of all time.
Okay.
They know that.
You have him as a better scorer than Michael Jordan and Kareem?
5 seconds left before you give him the ball. A 7-foot goat or a 6'6" goat.
Kevin
What are you
Durant
giving
in
the ball to?
crunch time has no resume essentially. How many game winners has he really hit?
You won
like
the league.
I think
one,
he said
two.
like 1 or 2. One was against the Knicks.
You're gonna give the ball to Kevin Durant over Michael Jordan in the final 5 seconds of the game?
You want me to leave?
Is that what I mean?
Because I
Hold on, can you break this down for me? Why would you give the ball to Kevin Durant over LeBron James over Michael Jordan over Michael Jordan in the final 5 seconds
LeBron
of
done
the
won the
game?
ball.
I'll get to the numbers about LeBron in the final 20 seconds of the game.
I don't want to
later.
hear numbers about.
All right, but here we go though. Can you give
Only
me
numbers
why?
I know about LeBron is
Can you give me why Kevin Durant should have the ball over Michael Jordan in the final 5 seconds? Can you give me that?
7-foot goat shoots better than Jordan. Doesn't shoot better than Jordan.
From three.
Everywhere. From everywhere he shoots
from
better.
mid-range. No.
Jordan had people with mental. That's it.
What?
KD had. Alright, I don't understand. I don't think I understand.
I don't understand.
I don't
You're not
know.
giving me a real
That's
reason
all.
to give Kevin Durant the ball. Because he's a
First-
7-foot
his
goat.
first 5
Michael Jordan's
years-
a 6'6" goat.
His first 5 years in the league, he led the league in scoring 3 times.
Did he lead the league in buzzer beaters in the final seconds of the game?
I think.
Ask Dirk what happened. when we played Dirk in the first round, ask Dirk what happened.
None of this is giving
Games
me a
1 and
reason
2,
to give
we
the
won
ball to him
on
over
game
Jordan.
winners. Games 1 and 2, we won on game winners.
None of this is giving me a reason to give him the ball over Michael Jordan in the final 5 seconds of the game. There's nothing fathomable to give Kevin Durant the ball over Michael Jordan in the final 5 seconds. If you want to talk about the resume,
Yeah.
Who's putting their hand up?
look at the
Who's
resume.
putting their hand up?
Who's putting their hand up on Jordan?
I think,
Nobody.
I think you have to
Are
let
you serious?
KD develop into a better finisher before you bring up this argument.
Kevin Durant is 7 foot, probably 195. He's not.
But he
fast
hasn't
enough.
established
He doesn't have
himself
to
as a closer, though. You don't look at Kevin Durant and see close. No one says Kevin Durant. That's a great closer. He's a great scorer.
He's a
We're
great-
gonna close this finals.
Will he?
Yeah.
We'll see it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. If we want to talk about somebody else's performance, how about we get into Steph?
Oh jeez.
28 points last night. Shot very well from the
was
field.
white.
It
It was white.
Wardell. I'm not gonna call him Steph. His name is
He's
Wardell.
disrespectful.
Wardell. I can
He
endorse
earned
that.
Steph. He
Right.
earned the name Steph.
Right. So
Named
Wardell.
Stephen Wardell
okay,
Curry, right?
Excuse you.
He earned the name Steph. I don't want to hear Wardell.
His name is Wardell.
I don't want to hear it. It's disrespectful. It's
Wardell.
not any of his shoes. None of that.
His shoes are ugly, so if we want to talk about that.
Okay.
Anyways,
Continue, though. Continue, Jordan.
Wardell had
I
a great
interrupt.
game. Personally, I don't like him, but I gotta give him his props. He had a great game.
I can agree with you
He
there.
showed up. I mean, he's just doing this. He's just getting it done.
I'm happy he's finally showing up because he never did that in the finals before.
True.
He's played like 1 or 2 big games in the finals. You know who else has rings? James Jones. Like
Robert Horry.
You want to talk about goats? James Jones is a goat. I don't care what anyone
he's
says.
not even better than Robert Horry
He's
in
not
what they
better
did.
than
Robert Horry had 7 rings.
Robert
But
Horry
he-
has 8.
Robert Horry
Robert
started-
Horry-
8, thank you.
But Robert Horry
That's it.
started though.
Okay.
James Jones.
He worked for his. Like Robert, he had to put
Yeah,
some work.
he started. So I mean, James Jones comes off the double bench. I don't even think he's in the first 10.
Yeah, I
He
think
was in
he's
the
the
right
last
three.
15.
He's the last 15. He's the final third of that lineup. But that's taking away from Wardell's performance last night. Because, like Jordan said, I'm not a big fan of the guy, but you can't deny that last night he showed potential greatness in the finals. He finally showed up
Kyrie.
on a high level.
Let's talk about that.
What
He
about
fucked
Kyrie?
When he guarded Kyrie, what was Kyrie doing?
Kyrie scored, and then
How many
Steph.
points?
Kyrie scored 24.
He scored 24?
Kyrie scored
Well, how
24.
many shots?
He was 3 for 4 from the 3-point.
Mm.
And overall, he was 10 for 22 from the field. So, statistically, that is not a bad game
It's not
by
a bad game.
by
turnovers
any
he had?
standards.
How many turnovers he had?
He had 4.
Yeah. It's a point guard. How many assists he had?
He had 2 assists.
Yeah, he's a point guard.
He's never been an
He's
assist
a
guy,
point guard.
though.
I know he's from Jersey. He's from
Also,
but
I mean,
he deserves to be bashed.
if we want to talk about assists, though, I mean, LeBron James is clearly the best passer on that team, probably in the entire
How many
NBA.
turnovers he had in the first half? I'll tell you.
So
Okay.
But I'm still, Kyrie's not going to get that many assists when you have LeBron.
If LeBron
LeBron
had
runs that
7
offense. Let's
turnovers
be
in the
real.
first half,
Can we be real, though? Can we be real? LeBron's the point guard on that team.
If LeBron had 7 turnovers in the first half, how are they going to win one game in Cleveland?
All right, that's off topic. I agree that when LeBron's turning the ball over, they're not going to win. But in terms of who's going to be the one getting the assists on that team, I think time and time again it's been proven that LeBron's the one getting the assists. He's a better passer. He's a far better passer than Kyrie. Kyrie is a better finisher, but LeBron is a way better passer. Let's be real. LeBron runs that offense. You can't sit here and tell me that even though
Alright, you said LeBron.
Kyrie's listed as a point guard, let's be real. LeBron James is the point guard.
I can give you that.
All right, thank you.
That's the only thing you're going to get today.
That's the only thing I'm going to get today?
That's the only thing.
All right, well, how about the forecast for the rest of the series? What are you calling?
Warriors in 4?
Warriors in 4?
3.
3. What do we have on this side of the table?
I'll give.
The game's over.
See, I didn't. If the Cavs win the next one, I'll say 6. The Warriors win the next one, I'll say 6.
So you guys both
They're
have
about to take
Warriors?
the game away from the Warriors at home. That's what you're saying. They're going to take
Listen,
the game
I said
away from
if.
Kevin
I
Durant.
said if.
Do you guys both have the Warriors winning?
The series, of course.
I have to give Cavs in 7.
Cavs.
I have to go Cavs in 7. Look what happened last year.
It goes 7, I'm not watching it.
7.
You're doing a disservice to yourself by not watching
If
it.
it goes 7, I know that the NBA is fake. There's no way a team with Kevin Durant. No, get my face. Kevin Durant, Steph Curry. Alright, we're not gonna say Klay Thompson. He's not here.
Okay.
Draymond. Come on, you can't sit there and say that series is gonna go 7. You really can't say that.
I wouldn't put my money.
I mean, last year they essentially had the same lineup minus KD
They-
and
they-
Boston.
Exactly.
But this year,
Exactly.
With Harrison Barnes, it was 7. With Harrison
Yeah.
Barnes.
Harrison was missing too many.
okay,
numbers.
but the
Harrison
Warriors also
Barnes-
lost significant players in the bench, and they lost Andrew Bogut, who was a presence.
So
Andrew
hold
Bogut was a
up,
present.
hold up.
He was a presence. Are you kidding me?
JaVale McGee is more valuable than Andrew Bogut right now.
Tell that to the Warriors when the guy's not even starting. Andrew Bogut started. JaVale McGee's not a starter.
What was
So-
his stats? What was his stats?
I mean, I don't have that.
They had the
yet.
same stat. They had the same stat.
JaVale McGee definitely brings. He's definitely a quicker player.
Mhm.
You throw the ball up to him.
Zaza's finishing layups, circus shots.
That was pretty ridiculous. I don't think we'll ever see him do that again.
That was about as 2K as it can get. I don't really know.
I don't think we're gonna see that happen again.
I don't know. If you're coming out game 1, the game you're supposed to be nervous and people are just shy. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think Zaza's really putting up numbers the same way he did before, but
You said Cavs and 7.
I mean, they're the defending champions. Are we gonna not act like they're not the defending champions?
Means absolutely.
It means
That means nothing.
Honestly,
Being a defending champions means nothing to you.
I
It
wish
mean nothing last year.
I wish the media didn't label them as the defending champs going into this series because it's really not fair.
Well, I mean, they have no choice but to label them as defending
say
champions.
Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Golden State Warriors.
But when they ask you who's the defending champion, you have to say the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Of course.
But that's semantics. Continue.
With that being said, this Warriors team is absolutely ridiculous. It's the greatest team of all time, and it can beat the '96 Bulls, and I'm not taking that.
After watching this last game, I unfortunately might have to agree with you. After watching this last game, they look just beyond unstoppable.
If your third greatest shooter is shooting 3-14 and you're beating people by 20, it's a problem.
That's not
Where
good.
was the hit he got?
I mean, you only got 4 shots, so you gotta wonder. We talked about this before you got here, but what do you think happened there? What do you attribute to the lack of J.R. Smith last night? They didn't give him his Henny.
None of the Jersey players showed up yesterday.
Kyrie showed up.
definitely.
24 points.
No. He had to guard Steph. What did Steph do to him?
Well, who's guarding Kyrie?
Who's guarding Kyrie? Steph.
And did
How
he
many free throws did Kyrie ever
Clay,
have?
Clay was guarding
Kyrie didn't defend Clay any worse than Steph defended him.
Yeah, Clay
So-
was guarding Kyrie.
But are y'all giving LeBron a pass for what he did yesterday?
Am I giving LeBron a pass? No,
Yes.
I've already said that 8 turnovers is disgrace. It's not LeBron like. The rest of his numbers look
LeBron,
good.
like, yeah,
The rest, he doesn't turn it over. They're not.
he's a choker.
He doesn't turn over.
He's a choker.
This is game 1 of the finals,
He's a
so
choker.
I mean, let's
I
not
mean,
not talk about that
He's
yet.
soft.
But if you want to talk about a pass, we just covered the fact that the Warriors are probably the greatest team ever assembled. Michael Jordan never played another team like that. He played a different team in the finals every single year.
So y'all gonna discredit Jordan? Wow, I discredit Jordan by saying he's not a better scorer than KD, but Not with his resume. 6-0, you can't talk on that.
But
we're talking about that 96 Bulls team would lose to this Warriors.
I think this Warriors team would beat the 96 Bulls.
That's the top.
And LeBron has faced them now. LeBron's faced them, and then last year you could argue they were better last year, 73-9. So LeBron has now faced the same team twice, arguably 3 times in the finals, because the first year not really the same.
This is not the same.
It's not the same. But LeBron is facing the best team ever in the finals right now. That's, to me, the bottom line. So if he loses this, yes, it does look really bad, and I think it becomes way harder to argue for him. But I think you have to give him some little tiny bit of slack.
No, if he gets swept, do you still give him slack?
If he gets swept, I feel like you still have to give him a little bit of slack.
No. If he gets swept, he's out of position.
What GOAT gets swept twice?
All right, time out. I don't think LeBron is the greatest basketball player of all time in the first place.
Making sure.
I think if you talk about resumes, you gotta go to Jordan. If you want to talk about individual skill level,
Greatest player of all time.
if you want to talk about individual skill level, that's something we can talk about another time. Because LeBron might be giving him a run for his money there. But when it comes to the resume, yes, Jordan blows him out of the water every time. I don't think there's any way you can defend that. But I think this year, even if he gets swept, yes, that looks awful for him. But this is the greatest team ever assembled.
Even if he loses,
Tim Duncan's Spurs would get swept by this team.
No,
because the Spurs would have won at least 2 or 3.
This series is a sweep. I put everything on the table.
I don't know if you can give him the credit for the sweep. Yes, last night was bad, but look at what happened in the finals before. Game 1, Game 2, Game 3, there was like 15 to 30 point games. Like teams were getting blown out on both sides. Yes, but teams are getting blown out.
KD's on this team.
They went 73-9 last year without KD, and their record dropped this year with him. So I mean,
so you're disrespecting KD now.
I'm saying that the Warriors didn't need KD, but now that they have him, it just made.
Why didn't they need KD? Harrison Barnes left for free agency.
Why didn't they need KD? Because they went 73-9.
And Harrison Barnes and Andrew Bogut left. They needed to fill the void at small forward.
Let's be real.
Why would you replace Harrison Barnes with another Harrison?
Are you arguing that the Warriors needed KD? Is that what you're?
Wait.
I'm going to say
so now you're giving.
You're gonna say
now you're giving credit to LeBron.
How am I giving credit to LeBron?
If the Warriors need to sign, you said the greatest scorer of all time, your words. Okay. And they were already 73-9. Time out. I'm getting you right now.
Here we go.
At 73-19, we need the greatest scorer in NBA history to do what? To beat LeBron, right?
No.
Then why would they need him?
They need to replace what they lost. They lost Barbosa.
Yeah, so they need Kevin Durant to replace Leandro Barbosa.
Harrison Barnes.
That's overkill.
All right, so you have no team.
That's like saying I'm
You're a
hungry.
Knicks
I need
fan, right or wrong. You're a Knicks fan, right or wrong.
Right.
If Melo left in free agency,
I'm not going to
You can't compare this because that team. You can't compare this because that team is absolutely garbage compared to.
All right, so
they're not beating LeBron. I'm sorry, Jordan, but you can't compare the two scenarios. If Carmelo left them. And if Leandro Barbosa left the Warriors, that's not the same thing at all.
If Melo left in free agency,
he didn't.
You would go and get a Mo Harkless.
He didn't.
You would go and get a Mo Harkless, or you would look for something better than Melo.
If
Kawhi was on the market and Carmelo left, you wouldn't go after Kawhi. That's what you're saying?
Okay, but all right.
Harrison left and got a max contract, right? Or
look at the team that's playing though. You're comparing the Knicks. You're comparing the Knicks to the Golden State Warriors. You can't do that. That's Carmelo leaving the Warriors is not the same thing as Leandro Barbosa leaving.
The Knicks have never gone 73-9.
All right, yeah, Carmelo leaving the Knicks is not the same thing as Leandro Barbosa leaving the Warriors.
73-19. All right, pieces of that team left. You need to fill in those pieces.
Yes, but it's overkill to get. They don't need him. They won the finals without him, and they pretty much should have won. They should have beat.
It's not overkill.
They should have beat the Cavs. They should have beat the Cavs last year.
They secured the bag. It's a difference.
And what did they do last year? They didn't secure the bag, but they should have. It was 3-1.
So you're telling me you would keep Harrison Barnes?
But you're arguing something different now.
No.
They didn't need KD.
Why didn't they? Harrison Barnes left.
It was 3-1.
He left because they went with KD.
It was 3-1 in the finals.
First.
It was 3-1 in the finals.
They
did not need KD to win that by any stretch of the imagination.
They let Harrison Barnes go. I don't even think they gave him money.
No way.
They let him go.
Yeah, max contract from the Mavs. Right?
Players will follow the money. What do you want? Okay. Carmelo did that.
KD followed the ring. What's wrong with that?
You want to talk about what's wrong with what KD did?
Rick, what's wrong with it?
Are you
just
not?
said he's
Hold
the-
on, hold on. You're an Oklahoma City Thunder fan, and you're defending what Kevin Durant just did.
Kevin Durant is my favorite player.
That's like, what are you? How is that even possible? After you're an OKC fan,
I'm not a hater. I don't have.
You're not a hater.
I don't have hate in my heart.
All right, I know the fans have seen what you said about LeBron, so the whole not a hater thing is out the window.
LeBron. How can you? LeBron can't be a
Don't
goat.
call yourself not a hater and continue to
It's
talk
not
about
hate. It's
LeBron.
called facts.
All right, that's off the. That's
Yeah.
That,
We're not gonna go there right now.
We're not on the same. We're
We're
not.
not gonna go
We're
right
not.
there right now.
But to say that the Warriors need Kevin Durant, that's wild. And to defend the move that he made
If you were
is
up
wild.
3-1, the Warriors are up 3-1. Why did they need Kevin Durant?
They no stretch of the imagination did they need it.
Explain.
If the Cavs won the NBA Finals, why do they need a playmaker?
Every team could use a
Same, vice
playmaker,
versa.
but
No,
KD is
no,
beyond the
vice versa.
playmaker.
They wanted
The Cavs went and got. They won the finals, but they went and got more. Did they not? Why can't the Warriors get more and they lost?
Why did
I'm
they
not saying
go,
they can't.
I got this.
They-
Why did they go get more? Because they signed Kevin Durant. That's why they went to go get more. Exactly. You can't argue. It's absolutely true. They got Kyle Korver, they got Darren Williams after they signed the
After your goat started complaining every time he went on a 4-game losing streak and then started asking for whatever he wanted. No, it doesn't go like that.
First
It
of
doesn't
all,
go like that.
first of all, he's not my goat. We went over this.
Y'all go.
My goat.
First of all, I
is
said.
Zion.
First of all, I said that my goat is Michael Jordan. We could get that on camera later. Second, yes, he was complaining, but it's absurd to me. What do you not want playmakers? But no one will.
You don't want
No
KD?
one. Okay, that's a different argument. Do the Warriors need KD? No, they didn't need KD. They were 73-9 and up 3-1 in the finals.
You gotta
If you're gonna tell me
change
that
the
team needs KD, then what are you gonna? Then the Cavs need KD.
Cavs need Kawhi, do they?
Like the Cavs don't need Kawhi.
Against the Warriors, do they need Kawhi? Instead of do they really?
Against
I
the
mean,
Warriors.
anyone would like Kawhi against the
You
Warriors.
need to
but-
stack your team against the Warriors, and that's what LeBron did, and that's why he has the
Can we address another thing though, real
That's all
quick?
you do is stack teams. That's the only reason he has rings.
Can we address another thing though? You earlier defended Kevin Durant's move. As an Oklahoma City Thunder fan, I need you to break down why that's even physically possible for you to do. How could you possibly defend what Kevin Durant did?
First of all, we shouldn't have the franchise shouldn't be in Oklahoma City anyway. I was a Supersonics fan. Who wants to? If you're a free agent, who wants to go to Oklahoma City? What's in Oklahoma City? Absolutely nothing. I'm mad Russell didn't leave. I feel bad for him. I'm a Thunder fan. I feel bad for Russell Westbrook. We have Roberson.
But
He's a shooting guard who shoots 45% from the
Yes,
free throw line.
I understand this.
He airballed the free throw. They start laughing at him. He did nothing.
I know, but
I airball a free
If
throw.
you wanna start-
if you start laughing at me, I'm charging at you.
hold on, because I know this is inevitably going to come up in this conversation. If you want to compare the moves that Kevin Durant made to moves that other players have made, and since I know people go the LeBron route here, you want to talk about the teams LeBron played with? Can you name for me the rest of the players on that team? And you're going to get mad.
Which
and,
team?
And
Which
the
team?
Cavaliers.
The
In
Cavaliers?
2007, when they went to the finals, can you name that starting five?
His mother's boyfriend, Delonte West.
He didn't even start.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, Mo Williams. Mo Williams was in his prime. He was doing numbers.
Williams is not there, no sense.
Yes, he was.
Mo Williams was
Mo
there in
Williams?
2010.
2010.
Yeah.
Mo-
I might have got that wrong. I got Daniel Gibson. He got Drew Gooden. You got Elgauskas, right?
Where are they at?
You got Wally Zerbiak. They
And
going,
those
but
players are currently doing nothing.
what we doing?
Exactly. But I'm saying LeBron played with arguably way worse teams than KD. Yeah, way worse teams than KD was playing with.
Are you serious?
And KD went to the team that beat him when let's not forget, they were up 3-1 on the Warriors. They were the ones who couldn't close the deal. So now we're back to the closer argument. Up 3-1, Kevin Durant's not closing. What's the deal there? How can you possibly defend him?
I have no. You know
How?
how to defend that? We saw Klay Thompson make 11 3-point. Was it 11, 12? How many 3-pointers? Nobody's ever done that.
But that's the reason that KD should have left.
I'm just saying that's the reason we lost. Cause
That happened all 3 games?
yeah,
In every
Steph
No.
Steph and Klay caught
See,
fire.
you're
Steph and Klay caught fire, and Westbrook was taking bad shots.
Westbrook kept y'all in the game. You're not a.
I'm not here for. I'm not here for.
I
Kevin
could have
Durant.
sworn you didn't watch
No,
the
I'm
series.
not here for Kevin Durant slander.
Kevin Durant,
Not
the
here for
first half of Game
Not here
6,
for
was shooting 40
Not here for
footers.
Not
Are
here
you
for
kidding me?
Not here for
That was
Because he
absurd.
can make those. Come on now. It's Kevin Durant.
Is that his game? He comes out shooting 8'5", 40 footers.
When Kevin Durant comes up and starts shooting from 40 feet, I mean, come on.
Are you kidding?
Come on. The only player I want to see shooting from that far is Steph, if we're being real.
But you don't even respect him.
I respect Steph's game. I don't like him personally.
Player, no.
I mean,
call him more.
I think he's got talent.
His name is Ward.
Obviously, the guy's talented, but I mean, like, I just don't like him. I'm not a fan of him. Just like the same way that LeBron is great and has talent, and you just don't like him and you won't give him his respect.
LeBron, no.
See, exactly.
It's not respect.
You're doing the same thing.
I'm going based off the fact that you lost 4 NBA finals, it's about to be 5. You're about to get swept twice.
All right,
the fact that Ray Allen won him the other one.
Wait, he got swept by the Spurs?
Yes.
In 2007.
I thought it was 4-1.
In 2007.
No, yeah, see?
Okay, we just went over how bad that team was, and that was prime.
So you blame the team for him losing?
You want to talk about players in their prime
Spurs?
Spurs? In that series? In which series? The one against the Spurs?
2007.
2007?
It wasn't a fair matchup, and so for that one, it can.
You want to pull up his stats against the Warriors in the series that they lost?
What GOAT has?
Well, he averaged 38, 15, and like 10 that series.
In a loss.
Yes, but he played well. You can't blame him for that loss.
If Kyrie and Kevin Love played, if this would be the epilogue
of
2 back-to-back championships.
Exactly. Right now, based on the information we have, you can only assume that the Cavs would have won the finals with KD.
Y'all give LeBron too many passes. I don't like it.
I'm not giving passes. See if this
if that's considered a pass, then I don't know what a pass is.
If he gets swept this series, LeBron is out top 5 contention. He's just in the top 10. He's somewhere in the top 10. He's out of top 5.
He's still in the top 5 for me.
Nah.
How are you in the top 5? You lose 5 NBA finals.
Jerry West.
You can't lose 5. You can't blame 2 of those finals on him. The last one against the Warriors, you can't blame on him.
You can't blame him for anything.
Look at the way he performed. And then in 2007, you really thought he was going to beat the prime Spurs with that lineup?
You can't blame LeBron for anything, can you?
I can. What are you talking about? He played like absolute garbage against the Mavericks. And he played played pretty well against the Spurs, but didn't play well in the fourth. I'm not at all saying...
He didn't want the ball in the fourth. There's a difference.
Yes.
Because he's scary.
How
are you a GOAT, you don't want the ball?
This is true.
In the fourth quarter, you don't want the ball.
There are plenty.
We seen that when there
are plenty of low-level players who don't have. Look, if you want me to pull up LeBron's numbers in final 20-second shots, in like go-ahead or tie game or buzzer beaters, LeBron's numbers are actually better than Kobe's. LeBron's numbers in the final 25 seconds of the game are better than Kobe Bryant.
That's because Kobe shot more because he's won.
No, his field goal percentage is worse.
So he shot more.
LeBron has shot tons of bro. I'm telling you,
his stats are saying LeBron is better than Kobe. That's what
in the final 25 seconds of the game, actually yes, LeBron has made more shots and a higher field goal percentage than Kobe Bryant.
Stats don't apply to Kobe.
So 1 second.
Stats don't apply to Kobe. That makes no sense.
Only stat that applies to Kobe is the fact that he has 5 rings. That's the only.
Oh, you want to talk about help? Oh, Shaquille O'Neal, Pau Gasol, Lamar Odom.
You call that help?
Do you not call Shaquille O'Neal help? Do we have to get you mentally? Shaq is top 5.
Shaq is top 5. But it's help. It's 2 players.
Shaq is worth like 3 guys.
Chemistry.
You want to talk about who's guarding KD? Who's guarding Shaq?
Shaq was like a 3-time MVP.
Who's guarding Shaq?
He made himself that.
Who on earth is guarding Shaquille O'Neal?
So if you have to put at least 2 to 3 players on Shaq, you're gonna leave Kobe wide open.
How is that help? That's a dynamic duo. That's not help. That
literally makes no sense though.
That's chemistry between those 2 players.
That's not help. That's not Kobe getting helped out.
Help. That's
not Kobe getting helped out.
No. Kobe.
Wait.
That doesn't even make sense. You gave the guy a teammate, and you're saying it's not help. That makes no sense.
Well, no, Shaq was there first. So they didn't really get it.
Either way, you can't qualify.
Kobe got drafted there.
But you can't say that him having Shaq is not considered help, though.
I mean, it's only.
Look what happened after Shaq left and before Pau Gasol in that lineup showed up. Kobe got bounced before the Western Conference Finals every year, and I think didn't even make the playoffs.
He got cheated out of MVPs too.
Yeah, but he didn't. But he wasn't winning chips. He wasn't even winning Eastern. He wasn't even winning Western Conference Finals. He wasn't even getting out of the. He wasn't even getting out of the first round after Shaq left. Before Pau Gasol and Andrew Bynum.
He was playing with Kwame Brown. You know what he is? Smush Parker. You know who he is?
You can make the same argument.
But LeBron had the same situation. LeBron had the same situation. How can you not? How can you not?
Smush Parker.
How can you not make the same argument for LeBron?
I'm not even going to
argue.
How is it
Smush Parker? You can't make the same
Kwame Brown. Smush Parker.
The only reason.
Kwame Brown.
The only reason The only way you can compare KD.
Drew Gooden?
Smush Parker, Kwame Brown.
Drew Gooden.
Smush Parker.
Drew Gooden and
Smush.
Shannon Brown had
Smush.
too?
Nah.
Smush.
Not even?
2010 maybe.
Smush
Actually, no,
Parker.
he did. He did.
Kwame
Shannon Brown, Drew Gooden. There you go. There's your argument right
You had
there.
Chris Brown's cousin.
Like,
Smush Parker.
LeBron had nothing.
Smush Parker and Kwame Brown.
You know, actually, what the interesting part about this argument is LeBron had those players and took them to the finals. Kobe didn't even take them to the Western Conference Finals.
Kobe averaged 35 one of those.
And didn't even take them to the Western Conference Finals.
Actually, Kobe blew a 3-1 lead.
Wow.
Against the
It's
Suns.
not looking
And
good
that-
for
and
you.
that's why MVP
It's not
was
looking good
coming
for you.
from.
LeBron took his line to the finals. Kobe didn't take them to the
Nah,
shopping
this is
the
Kobe
shopping
dropped
mall.
81.
Kobe didn't even buy them his own shoes.
Kobe dropped 81.
Yeah, there. All right, so that one's over with. We don't have anything to debate there.
Kobe dropped 81.
All right, on to
So,
the
you
next.
so that's what you're telling me? You're telling me LeBron better than Kobe?
Yes, I am telling you LeBron's better. I'm
On
telling you LeBron's better.
On the all-time list.
On the all-time list, LeBron's better than Kobe. On the all-time list, LeBron's better than Kobe. You can laugh all you want. LeBron's better than Kobe on the all-time list. There's nothing you say is going to take that away. Next topic, Kevin Durant's legacy. If he wins this final, what do we think becomes of Kevin Durant? How do we talk about him 20 years down the line?
Top 10 already.
Okay.
I'm not gonna argue with that.
Top 10 all time?
Look, Kevin Durant does not need 5 rings or 6 rings to be the GOAT. I need 3 from him, and once he passes Kareem, because he will. 3 rings, past
That's what
Kareem,
I'm
he's
talking.
the greatest player of all time. He's the greatest player of all time. I
Wow.
think LeBron.
But he doesn't play
time out.
defense.
If LeBron wins this
Kevin
finals,
Durant's defense is not good. It's
It's
okay.
improved.
It's okay, but it's still not great.
It's improved.
He gets a couple blocks a game, looks nice, but like,
I mean, against LeBron, last
he
night.
blocked him what, one time?
Put him on the floor.
I mean,
Put him on the
if
floor.
you're
That's
LeBron,
offense. I'm talking about defense.
No, that's still.
I'm talking about
if
defensive.
you're LeBron's matchup and LeBron has
Yeah, defense.
8
LeBron's
turnovers, I mean,
You're
it's
gonna.
gonna make
Why doesn't Kevin Durant have to win that many rings for you to call him the GOAT though? That doesn't make any sense to me.
I mean, he's
because
going.
he scores effort.
He said he's
and
not
it's actually
leaving.
beautiful.
but that has nothing to do with rings though.
Rings is part
He
of
got
the
one.
argument. Rings
He
is
got
part of
one
the
ring
argument.
already.
Who?
Kevin Durant.
All right.
If he breaks the scoring record and he just has 3 rings, Kareem has 6, and Kareem's my top best player. But all he needs to pass Kareem's, he needs 3 rings and maybe a team up with Westbrook again. All I need is those, and he can have the best player of all time.
I think he has to win a ring with a team outside of this current team
Well,
to
I think he will.
establish
I
himself
think
as
he will.
anything.
I think
You
he'll
think he
get
will?
2 with the Warriors.
You think he'll get
and
one?
1 somewhere else, and hopefully it's
I like to
with,
backtrack for a moment
what?
on that Kobe Bryant nonsense.
Okay.
You guys were talking about 1 through 8. Those teams to get into the playoffs, all those teams were 50-win teams.
Someone sent you that? Someone tell you that?
I just got reminded of something. That's all.
Okay. Why don't you put your phone on vibrate?
Okay, LeBron's Cavs were 50-win teams.
The Eastern Conference was stronger than the Western Conference when Kobe was playing.
Either way,
Yes.
LeBron.
Yeah, wait.
Actually,
The
wait.
Pistons were nasty.
Kevin Garnett
And the Celtics. We're not
Kevin
even
Garnett
about the Celtics.
on the Timberwolves. Do you really want to do this, Jordan?
Who was Kevin? Wait. You had Kevin Garnett and Sam Cassell. Who else?
Kevin, it doesn't matter.
You
I'm
don't
telling
know.
you, the teams were even. That's all I'm
Because
saying.
they had
There was
one
no.
superstar and
You
trash
had
teammates.
Dirk and Steve Nash, top of the West. You had
Steve Nash wasn't with the Mavs for that long, and
he was there and won 2 MVPs.
He won his MVPs with the Suns.
No, it wasn't.
yes.
I'm 100% sure he won his MVPs with the Suns.
Come on
Wanna
now.
bet?
Come on now. How much?
I would guarantee you Steve Nash won his rings with the
Steve
Suns.
Nash went to the Suns maybe in like 01, and and the reason why he left is because they weren't beating Shaq and Kobe. Come on now.
And then he eventually went to the Lakers. So.
And that's when Jason Kidd also went to the Nets. So keep going.
Alright, you can fast forward.
Alright, back to KD's legacy then, because that's what we're still talking about. Jordan has already said you think he ends his career with multiple rings.
Definitely.
He gets one outside of the Warriors. You said he gets 2 with the Warriors. That's interesting to me. You think he stays if they win?
If they win, he's gonna sign another 1-year contract.
So you think he stays? Kevin Durant stays with the Warriors if they
They'll go
win.
back to back.
I want him to leave personally. What do you think?
But he's not leaving.
You
say
think-
he's not leaving.
And Dirk don't stay. And once Clay
If he
leaves,
stays, that's 4 rings.
once Clay leaves, because I think Clay leaves is gonna request a trade after this, right?
Clay going to Boston.
Ooh,
That would be interesting.
that's all right.
I'd like to see that actually.
He played defense.
All right, well, it's actually a perfect segue into our next segment. Trade rumors, free agency rumors in the NBA. One big one right now: CP3 possibly to the Spurs. What do we think of this at the table? Because that could be a big landscape change.
It doesn't matter.
You don't think it matters?
It doesn't matter.
Why is that?
The Warriors. Kevin Durant.
You don't think they give him a run for their money after what happened in this Western Conference Finals?
Not at all.
No, not at all.
Can you honestly say
You don't have a shred of doubt that the Spurs would give him competition?
Kevin Durant can only get better.
Kawhi Leonard can only get better.
You can say
you
that.
don't think
Kawhi can't get better. Kawhi can't get
What
better.
happened
It's
this
all
year?
in the if only way he could get better is if he gets out of the Greg Popovich system. You can't get better staying in the system.
But
But
he has gotten better. So how can you say
it's not that he's gotten better. Players left, so he had to contribute more.
he's had to contribute more?
Yes.
So in the finals,
That's not getting better. That's
All right.
just-
Well, if you want to talk about, if you're giving credit to
in the
the
finals,
coach,
yeah, he was locking down LeBron. If that's what you was about to say.
if you're giving credit to the coach over the players, I mean, what are you going to say about Phil Jackson then?
I don't know. You see what he's doing with the Knicks.
But he's in a general.
He's
This is not the same
not
thing
a
as him being a
coach.
coach, though. Phil Jackson coached my goat, Michael Jordan. And you coached who seems to be your goat for the way you argue for him, Kobe Bryant.
No, he's third. It goes Lou Alcindor, Kobe Bryant.
At least we can agree
All
on
right.
something.
Either way, if you want to go down the road of giving credit to coaches, where do you stand on Phil Jackson then? Because I mean, you can't just
He
throw
forces-
Phil Jackson out.
He forces his way into one stuff. I don't like it. Trying
In the general manager position, he does, but as a coach, he never forced his way. He implemented the triangle.
He tried to trade Kobe for Jason Kidd.
I mean,
Nobody talks about that.
at the time, that wouldn't have been a completely awful move.
That's like
Jason Kidd,
Okay.
prime
Jason Kidd.
prime
on the Nets? Are you
Jason
kidding me?
Kidd was unreal.
Jason Kidd
That's
was
like trading LeBron for Celtics Rondo. Is that fair to you? Is that fair
Celtics
to you?
Rondo was a very quality player as well. He led the
But
league in
you're
assists every
going
year.
LeBron, you'll trade for Celtics
I
Rondo.
just how many times are you gonna call
It's-
LeBron my goat when I tell you that he's not my goat? I look
It's
him right
like
down
your
his tweets. He wasn't the
tweets.
goat.
He's your goat.
I defend him against you guys. I don't defend him as the GOAT. I defend him when you guys try to tear his legacy down.
Well, his
I don't
legacy
think
is
he's
getting
the GOAT.
torn down day by day. I don't
Exactly.
know.
Well, with this finals, it could be getting torn down, but that's not what we're talking about.
It's
Jason-
no legacy if you lost four times
Right,
in
but
the
we still
finals.
have
Sure.
I don't know if you know what the
Kareem-
definition of legacy is
Kareem
after
lost
that.
4, but Kareem won 6. So but he's
No, not 4. I didn't mean 4, 5.
yeah.
My bad. I updated.
And two are gonna be one's definitely.
Are you really? I'm still not over the fact that you guys are going to throw him under the bus for the Spurs finals
It's just a
and
fact.
the Warriors
It's
finals
just
last
a,
year.
it's just a fact.
What about like Jerry West then?
Why do you think Jerry West is not top 5? He's the logo and not top. He might not even be top 10. He's the logo.
I mean,
and
he's
not
the
top
only
10.
guy. I think he's the only guy to win Finals MVP on a losing team.
First of all, I just want to get this out the air. Bill Russell can't be a GOAT. There's no,
I agree.
He
I
could
agree
be.
with that.
He could be.
I agree with that. It's
He's
just
the originator of basketball.
I
That's it.
I
He's not a
agree with
GOAT.
that. It's just that when people put so much weight on rings, it's hard to ignore.
Those
11
rings
straight.
don't count. Those
But
rings
it's
don't
11.
count. It was 4 teams and 8 teams.
And
in
how
the league.
many did he win in a row?
8
Something
teams
like
in the league.
I won 9.
he won at least almost double digits.
He was 6'9". The average size of the players was 6'4". That's
No,
Yeah.
now you're wrong because the average height of the centers in the league back then was 6'10" or higher. We went into this.
garbage. Name garbage.
Oh, Will Chamberlain was garbage. That's interesting.
What you know?
I'm not
Okay,
talking
Will
about
Chamberlain was garbage. All right. That's pretty blasphemous. But back
Yeah,
to
wait. How tall is Will?
Will's like 7'1".
Okay. Durant 7 foot.
We're off topic.
No, I'm just saying.
CP3 to the Spurs, you still don't think it has any effect on the league whatsoever? Nothing? Even after the Kawhi-less Spurs blew a 23-point lead over the Warriors, you don't think that adding CP3 to that team gives them a better chance?
He wouldn't even fit in the. He wouldn't fit.
How would CP3 would fit on any team in the entire league?
He's the definition of a great point guard.
He holds the ball.
He's a pass-first point guard who can score.
He holds the ball too long.
He's a pass-first point guard who can score.
He holds the ball too long.
So
He wastes the cut.
if he's been leading the league or top 3 in the league for assists the past 10 years, how does Phil's ball too long? Explain.
Why? Say it again. I ain't hearing.
If he's top 3 in assists for the past 5 to 7 years,
I think maybe 10 at this
Yeah,
point.
Blake Griffin
It
is-
might be 10 at this point.
Yeah, Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan.
in the past 10 years, he's had Blake Griffin and Draymond. What's his name? DeAndre.
Well, when he played with the Pelicans or the Hornets back then, actually, excuse me, when he played with the Hornets and he was still leading team.
I don't know the stats.
I mean, that guy, he was still top. He was still
wasn't a
top.
factor. If he wasn't a factor, then how come they
Stats
blocked?
mean nothing. Stats mean he's never been to the Western
That doesn't
Conference
make-
Finals. That's a stat. That's the only stat that
You
matters.
want to hear a
That's
fact?
the only stat
You want-
that
No
matters.
one's arguing like that he's a GOAT or anything, but we're saying you
It
can't
won't
just
matter.
dismiss the impact he would have on the Spurs. Are you kidding?
Can we not? Can we
All
just
right,
go
they'll
back?
win a couple more games, but are you beat? Is
A couple more games is the difference between going to the NBA Finals and being
In the
stuck in the
regular
Western
season?
Conference perennially. No, because they were in the the Spurs were in the Western Conference Finals.
Up 23.
If they win a couple more games, they win the series and go to the finals, and that's currently, we're not even talking about Wardell anymore. We're talking about Chris Paul versus LeBron right now. That's the finals we're talking about.
That's true.
That's
I
the
mean,
difference a couple games
We
makes.
could have had a Chris Paul versus LeBron and Kobe and D Wade. And
We never got a LeBron
they-
Kobe
they
final.
blocked
You know,
that-
that's a sad thing.
They
But
blocked
like
that trade.
a couple games difference, that is literally Chris Paul in the finals and Chris Paul not in the finals. That's what a couple games does. Like I don't even. What else is there to say? Like what? A couple games
If they
difference.
were-
Literally, Chris Paul on their
Jared,
teams in the finals. They're in the
I'm gonna
finals.
break this down for you because you're not getting it.
I don't respect Chris Paul. Sorry.
The Spurs were up 23 without Tony Parker against your Warriors in game one.
And without Kawhi. And they're without Kawhi.
So if you add Chris Paul, how wouldn't that make a difference?
See that right there, what that said.
I'm not gonna read it.
No, you're gonna read it.
The Bay.
The bad. It's the reason.
You sound like a Warriors fan.
We'll go with that.
Are you a Warriors fan nowadays?
Can y'all see that? Y'all know who that is?
Are you a Warriors fan?
Isn't that the guy who's
I respect greatness. That's all.
You don't respect greatness, though. Actually, we want to talk about
It looks
that.
like
You see what that is? You see what that is? Right?
one for your
That you're not doing anything for me. You're not really giving me a reason why Kawhi and Chris Paul wouldn't beat the Warriors. You haven't given me a reason why that wouldn't happen yet. You've literally just
Why would it?
You've
Tell
literally
me why
read
would
words
it?
to me.
Tell me why would it?
Did we not go over this? Were the Spurs not up 23 on the Warriors
without Tony Parker.
without Tony Parker, and then they lost
Doesn't
Kawhi and
matter.
lost the game? You add
Doesn't matter.
You add Chris Paul
Doesn't
to
matter.
Kawhi Leonard and the rest of
Doesn't
that
matter.
And
lineup.
why doesn't it matter?
Chris Paul can't beat Gordon Hayward. Are you serious? Stop it.
You want to talk about that series? Blake Griffin went down that series. You were giving Blake Griffin a lot of credit earlier. Blake Griffin went out in that series, and then they lost. So I mean,
now what's your argument?
Are y'all really serious?
you said you don't respect Chris
Griffin
Paul.
has
That's
gone
just
down.
absurd.
I'm pretty sure in every playoffs he's been in. Like
Yeah,
he's gone down.
I think the past 5 years.
Right.
He's gotten hurt in every playoff
He
series.
stubbed his toe.
Chris
and
Paul
was out
too.
the rest of
He
the season.
punched an equipment manager in the face.
Like
Like
suspended.
the guy's an idiot. Like he's not an idiot. He just
I'll
gets
tell you
hurt.
what,
He just misses every year.
If Blake Griffin goes to OKC, that's a problem.
That would be pretty crazy.
I don't
I mean,
Yeah,
that's a debate for another time. What happens with OKC?
Brandon, I don't think they heard say it again.
I don't want him.
And this is why y'all in the situation y'all are now.
I don't want
Because y'all don't appreciate talent. Y'all gave away James Harden.
I want to give away Westbrook. He don't. I'm
I'm
sorry.
just saying my tea.
It's not like I want. Like
All right,
I feel
yeah.
bad for him. I'm sorry. Like I feel bad for players
Hold
on
on.
my team because I don't think That's what y'all don't understand as an Oklahoma City fan. We had James Harden.
You don't sound like an Oklahoma City fan with the rest of the argument. You're talking about the Bay.
No. Listen. We
The
had
Bay.
Yeah, the Bay. Yeah. Listen, we had James Harden, right? Right or
Okay.
wrong? Had James Harden.
Okay. Not the
Russell
same James
Westbrook.
Harden you did now.
He
James
would-
Harden is a completely different
He was
player.
coming off the bench.
He would have been.
James Harden. All right, he would have
If
been.
they give Cephalosha away, which they should have.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. Continue.
When we went to the finals, they were young. All right, we lost. We lost.
Oh, but LeBron was young in his finals, but y'all are just still throwing him down the drain for that one.
Something.
Continue.
28.
Continue.
Something like that. I don't know.
Not in 2007. No, he wasn't.
2007, he was what? 18 plus.
It's still a sweet.
He was like
This
25.
is sweet though. This is sweet.
Yeah, he might
You
have
know,
been even younger.
You can't be a goat getting swept.
All right,
We ain't
back
swept.
back to the topic.
Yeah, back to the topic.
Continue what you were
What's the topic?
saying. How, why?
Oklahoma City fan?
Why? Yeah.
The fact that we still have a GM makes we gave Kendrick Perkins $50 million.
Yeah, that's pretty pathetic. That's pretty pathetic.
Stop it.
Okay, but were y'all not up 3-1?
I don't want to be a fan.
Did you say you don't want to be a fan?
I don't like. This is how I'm a.
So you're not a fan?
I'm a fan.
Say you're a Golden
No,
State.
I'm not a Golden
Say
State
it on
fan.
there.
I'm
Say
not a
it.
Golden State fan.
I'm not convinced of that though.
You're Kevin
I'm not convinced of that.
So
I like basketball.
Hey, there it is.
Look,
There it
Let's
is.
break it down. You're a Kevin Durant fan. You're not mad at OKC. You want Russell Westbrook to leave. and you're going for even
It's
though
not-
OKC the past week.
Alright, but let me-
go
let me-
for Warriors.
But let me explain. I'm not saying like I want Westbrook to leave because he plays bad. I want him to leave because I feel bad for him. It's a difference.
You don't want them to go get time.
Everything left. Everything was gone.
You don't want them to get time for you guys.
Hmm?
You don't want them to go get time for you.
I want to start over. Victor Oladipo is garbage. I want them to start over.
All right. Well, this is going to be interesting for me to hear from your perspective, since we're talking about a guy in the West Coast. But how about Paul George? What do you think if he stays?
If
What
Paul
do you
George
think?
come,
Because see now what I'm waiting for you to say is Paul George will go to the East, and then somebody will beat LeBron, and then that will make equally less sense to everything else that you've
I
said.
think Paul George goes to the West.
You think Paul George going to the West?
Paul George is going to LA. But
You think he's
I'll
joining?
take
You
him
think he's
for
joining
one
Lonzo?
I'll take him for 1 year.
I'll be honest with you. He might go to the Rockets, or he might go to the T-Wolves. I mean,
Why would you go from the Pacers to the Timberwolves? I understand Cat, but come on. It's not
you say Cat like he's not a phenom. You say
Right,
you say
saying,
you say Cat.
he
Like,
wants-
Andrew
he
Wiggins
wants-
can't move.
First
He
of all,
moves to shooting
he
guard.
wants to go to the West Coast. Nobody wants to go to the Wood. That's the thing. Y'all don't understand location. If you are rich, why would you want to be in OKC? Why would you want to be in Minnesota?
I mean, it's not about living; it's about the team.
No,
you're playing
it
on.
is, it is.
Unless you act well, then I don't want a player on my team who cares more about where he's living than winning a ring.
It's about
than playing on a quality
location
team.
in the fan base. Who wants to be in Minnesota or Oklahoma City? Oklahoma
If
City-
Minnesota had a quality team that could make a run at the finals, I would. You catch me living in Minnesota for damn sure.
If-
I don't want to hear a player who's more concerned about, oh, I'm not playing in a big market than he is about, oh, I want to play with a good team and win a ring. I'll play on a team in Albuquerque if they're about to give me a shot at winning a ring. I'll live in a shack if I'm about to win a ring.
It's absolutely nothing in Oklahoma City.
But
wait,
if
are
they
you
give
just
you,
saying on just was really just say you're not an OKC.
I'm a Seattle Supersonics.
So you're not OKC.
And we
fan.
left.
Now we're getting
left.
closer. Now we're getting closer.
we're
You're saying
getting,
closer to anything.
we're slowly getting a
I'm a-
confession.
I'm a fan of the franchise. How about that?
You respect the franchise.
No, I'm a fan of the franchise.
Yeah.
Don't tell me I respect it.
You
I'm a
respect the
fan.
franchise.
I'm a fan.
You just say you wished your best player wasn't on the team.
Wish the best
And have
player.
been rooting for a rival now for the
It's
past
not a
few
rival.
finals.
It's not a rival.
It's not a
They're not a rival?
It's not a rivalry
It's not
because
a
the
rival.
games aren't contested.
It's not a no. It's
But
not.
if
It's not a
Russ-
rival because
if-
got Andre Roberson on the team. That's why it's not a rivalry.
If Russ says it's a rivalry, then it's a rivalry.
When he say that?
He said it in a press conference.
I don't care what he said. He need to.
So now you don't care about what your own star player is saying?
I want him to go to LA.
You want what? How can you even claim
I
to be
wish
an
the best
OKC
for my
fan?
players and
How can you claim
So
to be an
why
OKC
wouldn't
fan?
you wish that y'all signed more talent? You can't be.
And then he wishes-
I want to start over.
And then
I
you
want
wish
my-
his best two players.
I want Michael Porter or Marvin Bagley next year. That's what I want. Or Zion Williamson.
So
I
you
want to
wanna
start
take-
over.
So you want to be a Sixers fan?
What?
You want to be a Sixers fan?
No, I want to have the #1 pick and I want to start over and I want to rebuild.
You want to be a Sixers fan? The Sixers are already doing it. You're not going to go to them.
I'm a Knicks fan. You sound just like me.
I mean, if that's your philosophy,
I mean, for perspective, what you've been laying down, it would be like if I were, God forbid, a Patriots fan, and if I went and on the podcast and I went and said,
That's what
yeah,
you
I
said.
want Tom Brady and I want Tom Brady and Malcolm Butler to leave so we can start over. That's essentially what you've laid down for me. Because saying that you want Russ to leave, you already
If the
were
Patriots-
okay
if
with
the
you already were okay with Kevin Durant leaving. But I'm comparing it. We're not talking about.
I
what
mean,
happened.
obviously I was upset when he left, but I wasn't gonna have hate towards him. It's my favorite player. My C Money Sniper on Twitter, I got that from Easy Money Sniper, Kevin Durant. It's my favorite player. Why would I hate him?
But when he goes to the team, when he goes to a team that repetitively beats
why
you,
wouldn't you hate the Warriors?
it makes no sense.
They're fun to watch. I like basketball.
You like basketball?
You gonna say straight face?
Yes.
You smile.
Look at the camera right now. Look at the camera right now.
You sound like an idiot.
Look right to the camera right now and say all that. I don't think you can. Exactly. There it is.
Okay.
There it is.
Okay.
But you really don't think that either PG or CP3, you don't think if they move anywhere has any sort of real impact on the league? Not even a little.
On the East, that just make it easier for LeBron to get to the finals again.
If one of them
Paul
goes to
George
the East.
leaves.
If Paul George leaves, I
They go
mean,
to the West.
If Gordon Hayward goes to the Celtics,
I mean,
If Gordon Hayward go to the
it
Celtics,
might be slow for LeBron.
Not really.
I think if they get Markel Fultz in the draft and then pick up another nice player, it would be a very
You
tough
need to get rid
series.
of Zay Thomas.
Yeah, I'm saying if they get rid of Zay Thomas, you already have room for.
You want the
right
Celtics?
now.
You want the Celtics getting rid of Isaiah Thomas?
Isaiah Thomas. If
If
only way I'll get rid of Isaiah Thomas if a dumb organization like the New York Knicks were to offer Porzingis. That's the only way I'll get rid of Isaiah
You
Thomas.
talking about a dumb organization? Y'all gave away James Harden,
I
Yeah,
personally said they're idiots. I said it.
so don't disrespect my team.
No, I could disrespect them.
You're not going to disrespect my team if you don't even have a team. Your favorite team is 73-9.
Nah, that's not my
Yes, it is.
favorite
Just
team.
like you're saying,
my favorite
it's-
team lost to the Rockets.
it's your
My
favorite team.
My favorite team.
LeBron, my goat. The Warriors, your team. There it
No,
is.
no.
If you wanna, if we're
I'm
gonna
not
argue
going
like
off
that.
on air like that. I'm not going out like that.
Yes, you are. Cause
I'm not. You're a Knicks fan.
it's-
You have no
it's-
say in anything.
but at least
you
you
have no
know
say
I
in
am.
anything.
At
Y'all
least you
want?
know I am.
No, it's disgusting.
It's your favorite
disgusting.
team
It's disgusting.
with your favorite
You
player.
can't talk to me. You know why? Because you're a Knicks fan. That's why
And
you
you're a
can't
Warriors
talk to me.
fan. That's why we're in the
No,
separate leagues.
no,
right?
not a Warriors fan.
Yes, you
I'm a
are.
Thunder fan.
Yes, you.
I'm a
You didn't say you're not Thunder.
You haven't given me any real statement to back up that claim that you're a Thunder fan.
How many Thunder games have you been to?
It's Oklahoma City. Can you stop
You
it?
can go to a Nets.
I've been the one when they went to Brooklyn.
You went to Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Send me a picture. He's clearly lying. I'm not going to entertain this right now.
I'm lying, man. I'm trying to show
I
you.
mean, it's hard to sit here and have a Thunder fan tell me that they're not that they want to see the best
For the Warriors.
for the Warriors. Like
What you mean? When did I say that?
you said you want the best for your players.
I want the best for Kevin Durant, and I want
And
the best.
you want
for
the best for
Russell
a guy on the Warriors. Is that not? And you're rooting for the Warriors. Those are not the same thing.
For the past 2 years, even when KD was on the Warriors, you were going for the Warriors. So that just
Westbrook. Wait. Who said that?
Last year you were pulling for the Warriors to win.
Shut up. You sound stupid.
Oh.
All right.
Wait. That was stupid. Say that again. Say it again so they can hear you.
Last year, when the Warriors were up 3-1, you were going against the Cavaliers, and I have evidence that I have witnesses.
You lying through your teeth.
All right. Well, we'll see
You
the evidence.
stared with your binoculars right into that.
We'll see the evidence in the next podcast.
Next episode, I'm bringing the evidence.
Thank you everybody for tuning in.
My
We'll
last
see you
30
guys again
seconds.
soon. 30 seconds. All right. Actually, before the end, you want 30 seconds?
I want my 30 seconds.
All right. Look into the camera and give it the last 30 seconds. 30
I want
seconds.
you to look into the camera because I'm
Well,
going to torture you.
Look in the camera.
You're a Knicks fan. You should have no say in basketball. You watch and you spectate. That's it. Nothing else. You say nothing. You say you watch the games. You say you have no commentary on anything. Okay? I want you to say okay. I want to hear it before we go on. No, say it. Say it. You will have no say on the finals. Nothing. Because you are a Knicks fan. You have no respect in this league. Nothing.
As a Knicks fan,
Just say yes. That's all.
as
too
a
many
Knicks fan,
words.
I have more pride than a Warriors fan. Please and thank you. We gave it right there.
All right. That's the end of the podcast, everybody. Sophisticated Ignorance. First episode over. Thank you very much. Tune in next week. We'll be back.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Good timing.